Hello and welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Christina, and in today's video, I'm really excited to share a bathroom DIY makeover. I'm going to talk you through everything I've done, including how to upcycle and how to paint a bathtub. So let's head over to this project. This master bathroom is in great condition, but aesthetics-wise, it just could really use some liveliness, it could just use some depth, and just an overall makeover. So I really want to demonstrate some fun, easy, inexpensive ways that you can do some really nice upgrades to your bathroom. Really important, just like anything, is to prep well. So cleaning, making sure we have a peel and stick adhesive on the previous old tiles that we need to remove everything before we get started. And we are going to be repainting this bathtub. We ordered a new faucet for the bathtub, but it is on back order. So for now, we're just going to spray paint it in a flat matte finish, as my original idea was to actually just do the soap dish, but I just decided to add the faucet in for the aesthetics of the video until I can get a new faucet in. Because we don't use this bathtub very often, I'm fine with this, but if it's a highly used washroom, I may want to just replace everything. This will be the kit that we are using, which is Klenk's epoxy enamel. It's a Swiss formula. And what you're going to do first is you're going to prep. So you're going to be using the tub and tile prep kit to get started. The prep kit cleans and prepares the surface for the epoxy enamel. Then the TPS is going to clean all of it out, leaving your bathtub to shine. And this is going to be prepared for the tough high gloss finish. Now, for the colors of the bathroom, I'm using Benjamin Moore's Saybrook Sage. For the wall surfaces, Morning Dew for the trim, as well as the skylight, and Edgecomb Gray for the floor. I love using these color swatches, that way I can see in the daylight what colors I want to choose from. So again, just prepping everything, getting everything ready with wood filler, a drywall compound for any of the holes, and including the sanding before we go ahead with the paint. I like to put all the switch plates and screws into a plastic bag so this way I don't lose them. Now that I have everything off, I'm just going to lightly sand because there's sometimes a few different layers when you've removed items. There was a cabinet here, so I just want to make sure everything's nice and smooth and ready for the paint surface. This I was a little nervous about, but I know I can tackle it. It's the skylight. The varnish is worn really dull, and I guess just with condensation in the bathroom, it just looks kind of old and ratty, so I thought a fresh makeover of a nice, fresh, bright color would really, really brighten this room. So I have decided to do the Morning Dew Benjamin Moore paint for the skylight, the ceiling, as well as the trim in this bathroom. In order to get into the panel grooves, I had to use a paintbrush and use that ladder. But what I found super helpful was this little bucket that you can use on your belt. This way, when I go up 6 feet into the skylight, I can actually reach the paint much easier than trying to bend down onto a tray plate, and I can just pop in the roller whenever I needed it. So I took 2 coats to complete it, and I'm really, really happy with the results. It feels brand new again. Highly recommend that little pail for your belt when you're going up into those high places. So we wanted to originally replace the tiles, but we decided to actually use the self-adhesive vinyl flooring instead. Our actual long-term goal with this actual project is to take the bathtub out one day and actually put in a stand-up shower. But for now, I think this is a great alternative. It's going to look really nice, and it's so easy to work with. You can add some additional self-adhesive material, but the biggest thing that we learned is your surface area must be super clean for the adhesive to work. This is a great alternative for a half bath or because this is just a soaker tub, but I would not recommend this for a shower. Just using the drywall compound, I'm going to go around and just fill in those areas where there was a shelf, holes. There's actually some big ones in this bathroom, and smooth out all my surfaces before I start painting. I generally like to go around and paint all my trim and ceiling first before I put my wall paint on, so this way I don't dribble it onto the new color on the walls or onto the floor before I do them. To avoid using a lot of painter's tape, I want to show you a little trick in just a few moments. Now, what we want to do here is figure out how we're going to do the piping, because we're going to be removing this entire cabinet, but we will recycle the sink bowl itself. I have this gorgeous vanity that I painted up like a year ago. I've been dying to put in this bathroom. It's the perfect fit. Really important to turn your water off first, and now we're going to go ahead and remove the countertop as well as the cabinet, which is adhered to the wall. What I like to do with my edges is actually buy the 1-inch painter's tape, and then I fold it so that way I have ½ an inch that comes down off the wall. This will create a beautiful, even, straight line when you remove your painter's tape. Now that we have everything detached, I'm just going to clean everything off, go around with that compound, clean everything, sand everything. My husband's gone ahead and made a hole in the vanity so that way we can recycle the sink, and we've also added in a new pop-up drain in the matte black. We've also purchased a new tap set, and you'll see with the vanity why. Measure twice, cut once. We just wanted to reset everything so this way we can have the drain pipe as well as the water hoses all in line with each other before we continue on with this upgrade. And my cat loves to help. Just continuing on with the sanding where we removed the original vanity, and I'm going to smooth everything out with some drywall compound and then sand it again once it's dry. Really important to make sure that drywall compound is 100% dry before you sand it. Now it's time to paint. The beautiful part about an upgrade of a bathroom is it's a very small room, so the painting process does not take that long. I like to go around and make sure I paint around from the trim to the wall with a small angled brush. Then I'll just use the roller brush to go ahead and put on the bulk of the wall paint. The reason I like to do the ceiling and the trim first, so this way I only have to tape once, because I don't mind that the original trim paint has gotten onto the wall, because we're now putting the wall paint on and it will cover it. I generally will just use the sanding discs as I can get more for my money, as the blocks are expensive, and if I want different grits, and I'm using the 120 and 220 for the walls before I go and apply the paint. Now because I'm going to be painting the floor, I'm going to just paint the trim out first, so this way if I get paint on the floor it's no big deal. Let the ceiling paint come down about ½ an inch to 1 inch. This creates a nice, smooth, even, straight finish. Again, make sure that drywall compound is 100% dry, sanded, and then you're ready to paint. I am so excited to get this vanity makeover inside this bathroom, as I've waited so long. For a nice clean finish, you can go around and do some caulking in around your floorboards as well as other little areas and around your windows, just to give a nice clean edge. What I find is nice even distribution with the caulking, and then just run your finger and it makes it nice and smooth. Most caulking comes in the paintable version, but just double check and make sure you read your label. This way, if you wanted to paint over the bright white line, you have a total option to do so on top of the caulking. Now I'm going to paint the floor, so I'm using that Edgecomb gray. Now painting this floor, now everybody's floor is going to be different. This is a textured tile, meaning it's got a lot of bumps and grooves in this tile. So I have to paint it at least twice, if not 2.5 to 3 times. And I'm using a separate brush to get into that grout line, because I want it to be a nice even tone throughout the entire floor. There's a little trick to stenciling a textured tile, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. Now, I picked up a new light fixture and I could not get the matte black. So I'm going to spray paint it in the matte flat black color. let this dry. When using a spray paint, always use small little bursts of paint. Don't let it continuously run to get a nice smooth finish. Now I have an old mirror. It's just a replica, and I thought this would also look great in the matte black finish as well. So I'm going to spray paint this too. Because where the light fixture, the new one is, as well as the back plate of the Vanity dresser that we've used, the space I had to measure and make sure that I could have a mirror that was going to fit in that spot. It's so easy to find things that we like, but it's also really important to make sure that they're going to fit when we're making these changes. The Vanity I bought, I think like 7 years ago for a couple of $100, and I did a makeover on it. This mirror cost me $25, and the light fixture I believe was $79. It's always going to be the prep work that's going to take the most time when it comes to painting a makeover or any room, is getting your wall surfaces, your floor surfaces, all of those things is what really takes up the time, because I'm already on day 3. But with so much time being spent at home now, I have to admit it feels so nice to refresh my spaces inside my house. Your home space has such a reflection on your mood and your overall energy, so it's really nice to do these nice fresh updates. Adding a new light fixture is fairly straightforward. You're going to have a white wire and you're going to have a black one, as well as a copper. And the copper is just going to be twisted together with what's on the new fixture. You're going to match up the 2 color palettes, then you're going to add your screws. Just going to run a little test, make sure everything works accordingly and everything is hooked up correctly. And for safety tip, if you're going to spray paint an old light fixture or new one, just make sure you're using the LED light bulbs. I am just placing on my second coat of the Edgecomb Gray onto the floor. I'm actually going to be putting up, I think, 2.5 coats. Again, it's just more shadowing in the grout that I want to make sure it matches nice and smooth. As I mentioned earlier, these tiles are actually quite textured. So if you're going to be doing a stenciling on a smooth surface tile, you will be good to go. But with a textured tile, my biggest advice is go super slowly. Because the actual stencil is not flat as it would be on a smooth surface, it's more likely to move a little bit. So just nice and slow, you won't have any problems. I did this very patiently and I was so happy with my results. So if you do have a smooth surface, you should not have that problem. So now all we're going to do is hook up the drain pipe as well as the pipes for the hot and cold, make sure everything runs nice and smooth, and of course my cat Dimitri always has to get in there. Another quick tip, if you're going to be working on a textured tile, I actually would recommend to use a small, almost the 2-inch roller rather than the 4-inch that I'm using. I think you're going to be able to have a little bit more dexterity and control with your roller versus the 4-inch. Once I'm done all of the stenciling, I'm going to put the polyurethane by Minwax 2 full coats on this floor for resistance and protection. For the bathtub, I recommend 3 coats. We were only able to do 2.5 and we just made it and it looks perfect. So this is only after 1 coat. You should have enough in a box for an average size bathtub, as this is actually an extra large jacuzzi, if I'm saying that correctly, jacuzzi tub. So we actually needed to put on almost 3 coats to get the full coverage. You're going to use a low nap roller when you're going to apply this actual product of the epoxy enamel, but it takes about 8 hours for it to dry, but it will take 7 days for your tub to be fully cured, so you can't really use it or place anything on it. So when I got to stage this at the end, after we did all of this, I couldn't even get in there to get the stickers off the jet pieces inside that tub, but I was able to get around and get the tape around the edge off. So just be careful, be patient with it. Also, another quick tip is this fish eye eliminator. Now, when you're dealing with the epoxy enamel, you're going to notice that sometimes there's going to be little air pockets, especially when you're applying it on top of the fiberglass of the actual tub. That's going to eliminate by having that. It's very inexpensive. There's something to do with when this goes on, there's almost like these little dimples that can happen. So again, that fish eye eliminator is really going to help that, and it's going to keep everything really smooth. We read so many reviews when it came to different types of products that are available for a bathtub makeover like this. And through a lot of research and homework, we felt that this was the best product. We wanted to give a try. I have to admit, I was really nervous, but I am absolutely thrilled with the results. It looks brand new. So again, you're going to want at least 2 coats, sometimes 3 if your tub's a little bit bigger, and you're going to want to be a little bit patient with it. I would definitely use this product again, even for tiles as well as bathroom sinks. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and please let me know in the comments below what other room transformation DIYs you would like to see. I have so many more fun videos on DIY, home decor, room makeovers, and furniture transformations. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. It's going to tell you when I upload my next video. And until then, take care. I'm really looking forward to seeing you soon.